I will be the first to say that Sheamus versus Randy Orton at this year's WWE SummerSlam 2015 seems to be a match that we've seen 2,000 times inside of WWE at various pay-per-views, Monday Night Raws, SmackDowns, this, that, or the other. I think most people will always remember Randy Orton versus Sheamus, the Monday Night Raw that was after WrestleMania 29, the one that basically the crowd just gave no fucks what was going on inside of the ring. They started doing the wave, they started chanting for the announcers, they started chanting for various things that were inside of the arena. It just isn't a very sexy matchup of guys inside of the ring. As of right now, the big build-up of this match dates all the way back to Money in the Bank, where both of these guys were competing to try and get the title shot to go after, the champion whenever they get the chance. Everybody knows what the Money in the Bank briefcase represents. Sheamus ended up winning the match, and since then, Randy Orton has made it his number one goal in WWE to be taking out Sheamus any chance that they got. At the last pay-per-view, we saw these guys get into the ring. They had a very short, very good match. I believe it ended with Randy Orton evading the brogue kick, which led to an RKO and a win for Randy Orton, getting the 1-2-3. And everybody went home happy, and that was it. Since then, Randy Orton ended up becoming the number one contender to the World Heavyweight Championship on Monday Night Raw due to the fact that John Cena was unable to compete due to his broken nose. Sheamus ended up breaking up Randy Orton's chance to beat Seth Rollins after delivering a top rope RKO. Definitely, if Randy could have made the cover, it would have been over. Randy Orton would have been the new champion. Instead, Sheamus came down. He displaced Randy Orton. Then he went for the brogue kick himself to try and get the 1-2-3 count against Seth Rollins, cashing in the Money in the Bank. But as the referee was taking his time with the Money in the Bank briefcase, Randy Orton slipped into the ring, delivering an RKO to Sheamus, and Sheamus's dreams of becoming WWE World Heavyweight Champion were laid to rest. When I went to the Stockton House show, I saw this as a match. It was a very good match. I'd probably say that the match was probably about 7 to 8 minutes. It was one of the first times that I ever watched Randy Orton, and I really liked him. And this is a discussion that I heard on Brian and Vinny. It might have been on Wrestling Observer with Dave and Brian, but one way or another, I know Brian Alvarez was involved. They were talking about going to house shows and actually seeing Randy Orton work. Definitely people that watch Randy Orton work at house shows will tend to start to like Randy Orton. And I think that's what's happening to me. Anybody who's talked to me about Randy Orton, I've just been able to say that this guy has never been one of my favorite guys. He's just been a guy. All of his matches seem the same. But in this last few weeks since going to that house show, I've seen that I've been more attentive during Randy Orton matches, even to the point where I'm almost rooting for the guy. He's one of the few guys that is in WWE where I've never bought a t-shirt. I've never done anything to really support this guy, and he's always been one of those guys on the VIP list where I've just looked at it and said, I have no care in ever meeting Randy Orton, and now here I am, basically on the verge of actually saying that I'm a fan. In this match, you have to go with the fact that, Randy won the last match, so I'm guessing that Sheamus is going to get the win this time, but some people are actually thinking that Sheamus is going to be cashing in that Money in the Bank briefcase somewhere along the way, and Sheamus becoming World Heavyweight Champion and having a guy that has 2 straight victories with him being Randy Orton is pretty good at building a match in the future. So in this match, I'm going to take Randy Orton to get the win. I know it's hard to get back-to-back wins on pay-per-view, especially if you're a babyface, especially when you're trying to build the future champion. But so many times you've seen guys hold the Money in the Bank briefcase who just get to the point where they never win, but because they have that briefcase, a lot like if you had the United States Championship or if you had the Intercontinental Championship, you could lose on SmackDown and Raw all you wanted, because basically when you walked out the next time, you'd still be holding that belt, and that makes you a little bit more prestigious than everybody else that's on the show. But my pick, Orton to get the win over Sheamus.